Hey guys, I'm Katy Bang and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be hitting you with 10 facts that you should know before owning a bearded dragon. So they're the most laid back and common reptile in the reptile world, and they're really good pets. So I don't know, they're just great and I love them so much, and here we go. Fact number 1. They need big enclosures. You have to start out with a 20 gallon for babies. This is actually a really good size because it's not too small to the point where they'll like not have enough room to roam around, but it's also not too big so they won't get stressed out. Hi Zesty. But a lot of people that own bearded dragons will recommend getting them a bigger tank or enclosure of like 100 or 125 gallons. It's really personal preference and what you can do for your bearded dragon, but just always expect to have to upgrade so that your bearded dragon is happy and living their best life. Bearded dragons are solitary animals. This means that they probably don't want a friend. And I know what you're thinking is, oh, you have 2 right now, which yes, I do have 2 right now. Someone was getting rid of them, I rescued them. It's kind of a weird situation. But when you do house them together, you always have to be prepared for them to not get along. So you do have to be prepared for them to eventually just stop wanting to live together and separate them. And they do just fine by themselves, but there are some situations where they do okay together as well. These little guys are cold-blooded, which means that you have to have a good heating and lighting system set up for them. What I do is I have a UVB light so that it's good for their bones, and it's kind of like the sun, and that's on 12 hours a day. So 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And then they also have a night light that's on 24 hours, and it's a heat lamp as well, so it just heats up the enclosure to make sure that they're at the right heat and temperature. And yeah, so you also want to really watch their temperature because it's pretty important to make sure that they're not too cold because they can't really regulate their heat on their own. So that's always something to watch. Baby bearded dragons eat 20% vegetables and 80% insects. So when they're younger, you're going to want to be feeding them crickets about 3 times a day. And I think the best way to figure out a good size is make sure they're no bigger than the size in between their eyes. As well as the fact that when they're older, they're going to eat way more vegetables. So what you do when they're babies is make sure they always have access to vegetables, and then you're feeding them crickets a bunch of times a day. And at the beginning, they're probably not going to like their vegetables too much. And at about 6 months, that's when you start transitioning them onto more vegetables and less insects. So when they're older, they'll probably get insects a couple times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, and then vegetables all the time. Bearded dragons don't drink a lot of water, and the best option is not to put a water dish in their tank or their enclosure. Don't know what to call it. So what I do is I actually give them baths like 2 to 3 times a week, and that's when they can drink a lot of water if they want to, and then I mist them down just about 2 times a week. So they're constantly having water, but they do better in dry enclosures, so it's not too humid. It's pretty much they do better if their enclosure is dry, but they also absorb most of their water through their skin, so giving them warm baths a couple times a week is always a great option, as well as just misting them down in their cage for peace of mind that they're not dehydrated. When they're younger, it's very crucial to socialize them so that they are used to being handled, so that when you handle them when they're older, they're just used to it and they're pretty good and tame. So what I do is like 1 time a day at least, is take them out, just touch them all over, make sure they're used to it and okay with it. And that just ensures that when they're older, they're going to be the best bearded dragon that they can be. That's so cheesy. They live around 10 years. These little guys live for a while. That being said, you need to make sure that for 10 years of your life, you're ready to live with these little dragons. And if you can't commit to 10 years, you can't commit to the little dragons. Bearded dragons actually produce venom, and I thought this was kind of an interesting fact. It is absolutely harmless to humans though, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. And if you're socializing and handling your bearded dragon, you shouldn't even have to worry about it at all. Okay, weird fact, kind of interesting. I was a little weirded out by it at first, but I don't know if I'm saying this right. When bearded dragons poop, there's like a white part in it, and it's called the urate, and it's normal. And yeah, don't think your bearded dragon's dying, is what I'm saying. That's normal. Last fact, if your bearded dragon gets a black beard, that means they're stressed or angry or upset. So if they have a black beard, something's not right, and you gotta change something pretty fast. Well, yeah, that's all. Can you go on my face? No, he can't stick on my face. Aww. that's so cute. Okay, what am I doing? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these 10 facts, and I hope that or like 10 things you should know, and I hope they taught you a little something, and I appreciate you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please leave me some constructive criticism in the no, I'm sensitive. Okay, but thank you. I love you. Bye.